Hi everyone, how you doing? Thank you for joining me again on another live stream. Let's continue to work on this Kanban board. Today is mostly bug fixing because last week I introduced a bug just at the end of the stream that prevented me from further sorting groups, and I'm guessing everything else. So we're gonna solve that, and we're going to clean up a couple of things in the code because I want to take everything right now. It's kind of scattered, all the CRUD operations for creating groups, editing groups, tasks as well. So let's move all of that into Livewire forms so everything is well organized. Weaverton Lotosport, hello boss, how you doing, man? Thank you for being here. So nice to see you. So let me show you what we have. This mic is kind of in the way today. What are you doing? Let's fire up the website and see where we at. Kanban board, we have authentication. Awesome. Let me, was it admin? Admin. We have this, and if I try to, this works, but if I try to do it again, it's not gonna work. Watch. Well, kind of worked. How come it's doing it? What? It wasn't working before. Going on? I swear to God, it wasn't working last time. That is so strange. Did it fix itself? That's so strange. Why? How? Is this working? Yes. Am I in the right branch? Did I lose the changes from last week? I branched into week 11 and I was in week 9. And let's check this is the group mode. No, yeah, there is our user, which is fine. This is so weird. I remember distinctly that it wasn't working. So strange. Let me log out again. Oh, what's that? Multiple instances of Livewire running. That is not supposed to happen. What if I log in again? Admin. Password. Oh. This stopped working. Why did it stop? Oh. I think I know why. We're in the login page. But remember that we are using a Livewire plugin. So because of that, I needed to manually start Alpine so that I can tell Alpine to use the sort plugin. And in the Kanban layout in the dashboard, or in the layout that we are using for the Kanban board, I used a directive for manually or instructing Livewire to basically telling Livewire, I'm starting Alpine, don't do it yourself. And that is here. Send the Kanban layouts. See this right here? That line right there, it's allowing me to then go into app.js, which is loading bootstrap.js, and then do this little thing right here. But Stanley, morning. It's actually evening for me, but morning for you from Nairobi. Wow, that's so far away. Thank you for being here. So nice of you to come and watch the stream. Thank you. So yeah, this is working, but only the dashboard. The login page, however, it's using a different layout. I guess it's the guest layout. Let me check. This is going to be in resources, views, Livewire, pages. There is the login page right there. And this is because of the starter kit that we use. This is a Vault component, which is pretty much like a Livewire component, only everything in one file. And you can see up here, it's using the layouts guest file. And I'm pretty sure that that layout file does not include the directive that needs to tell Livewire to not start with Alpine. So let me copy that line from the Kanban layout. Actually, I need those two. Yoink, and let's open layouts guest.blade.php. See, up here it's including or is using Vite with both the app.css file and app.js. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste these two lines here and then go 15 up. And then remove this line here. So delete towards the closing bracket. So just load the app.css, and then at the bottom, don't start Alpine. I'll do it myself. And then load app.js. Save that. And I'm logged in. Let me try that one more time. Log out. No errors. Admin. Password. Okay. Things just don't fix themselves. That's what worries me, because I saw that bug happening. So tell you what, I'm going to run the migration again, and let me try it this time. But before we do that, how about, no, let's try it this way. Let's refresh the database first. Migrate fresh seed. So that'll give us a clean database. This obviously is going to log us out. Admin.sample password. And then log in. See, it happened again. You saw? That's so freaking weird. And if I do it this way, if I do it that way, it works. But if I do it the other way, it doesn't work. There you go. Now we have a problem to solve. I guess the first place we should look at is the database, because there are no errors in the console, as you can see. So it's not a code error, which leads me to believe it's something in the database. Something with the sort value that got messed up. How do we do this? Tinkerwell, or no, let's use Table Plus. It's already here. And I think I'm already connected. Yes. So this is in the groups table. Ah, look at that. Let me zoom in a bit. Can I zoom in? Yes, not. Look at that value right there. Sort value -1. That should not happen. -1 and 0. So the sorting is all messed up. Yep. Let me run the migration again. See what happens in a fresh database. Please refresh. Oh, they're both 0. Should be 0 and 1. This is the Cedar class that is doing this. Well, the Cedar... I'm a moron. Of course. Check this out. Remember how we were having problems last week because we couldn't run the migration? Well, the problem is we couldn't run the migration because the migration for the groups, for the group model, it's using the sortable query, the sortable trait. And that sortable trait has a get sortable query function that wasn't working for us because we were trying to look for the logged in user, but the logged in user never exists if we are dealing with a migration, right? So I think the code for that is, am I not zoom in? This feels little. That's better. So if we go to the group model, see, we did this, we added this question mark here because when using a migration, there is no auth user. So that was giving us error. So my workaround in my incredible intelligence is to, well, let's just not use the user if there's none, right? So this will return null. Get sortable query returns null when there is no authenticated user. Now, what the problem with that is in the sortable query, sortable trait, sorry, we have this creating function that works, that runs every time we're creating a record. See the problem here? That's always going to return null when we are running a database either. So last sort position is always going to be null, no matter how many records we're creating. And therefore, if it is null, it's always going to be 0. So both groups, when created from the migration, from the database either, are going to have a 0 value because of my idea. Question is, how do we solve this if we're not going to... Oh my god. Okay, so we don't need to use the auth user because the purpose of this get sortable query is just for me to get a range, or the range of values that I can work with when dealing with sorting values, whether it being giving a first sort value when creating records or grabbing a set of records when moving things around in sorting. So I just need to know I can grab this many values because I'm going to shift them up or down because I'm moving things around and sorting them. So in this case, because we are dealing with a database either, in every case actually, I don't need to use the auth user, because the group already has a user relationship. And when I'm creating things with factories, the factory is going to automatically assign the user ID when creating a new record. That means that at that moment in time, even if the record has not been created yet, the user ID has already been set, and I should have access to this relationship here. So technically, if I do this, because this will be the record I'm creating, user, that'll be the relationship, sorry, should be able to do that instead. I'm not depending on the logged in user, I'm just depending on the value of the relationship at the moment of either creating a record, in this case it's creating a record, or when I'm dealing with sorting. At the time of sorting, I already know there is a value, there is a record that I'm dealing with, because I'm taking it from here and then moving it around, and then everyone else should already have a user assigned to it. Or should. We're going to deal with that. So that should work. In fact, let's try it. I'm going to save this and run that migration again. No errors? Cool. Oh, and I should also go back to the group model. Group model, was it? No, the sortable query. Sortable, I keep saying sortable query, sortable trait. And I don't need this question mark here anymore because this is always going to give me a value. The last sort position in this case. Save that. And just for sanity's sake, let's run the database one more time, the migration. And let's check the table, make sure that everything looks good. Ah, there you go. 0, 1. Perfect. And I'm gonna bet you that if we go back here, let's refresh. Of course, we got kicked out. Log in again. We can sort again, back and forth. No errors whatsoever. Okay, cool. I thought I was going to spend more time on that. Thankfully, it was an easy fix. I don't know why I didn't see it last week. Well, usually by the end of the stream, I had to deal with so many weird errors at that moment that you just can't see the problem unless you step away and then come back with fresh eyes. That's always a good thing to do whenever you're dealing with a problem in coding and you just can't see the solution and you start to get frustrated. Do what I do and just step away, even for 5, 10, 20 minutes. Just do something else. Wash the dishes, take a nap, or just walk around, breathe, and then come back and see if it makes a difference. Most of the time, it does. That just refreshes your brain and just gives you a fresh perspective on the error. Now that we have this fixed, let's work on cleaning a few things, because from what I can remember, let me close a few things here. We have Livewire forms, but we only have a form for task. And even then, the task form is only dealing with updates. And we have updates and we also have tasks to create. So I would like to move the add task, or modify the add task component to move this functionality into the form. So everything that has to do with tasks, editing and updating in this case, and in the future deleting tasks, will be handled in the form, one single location. And also the add group. We don't have a group form, and I would like to have one because we are adding groups with. Hold on a minute. Didn't we move this to the board? The add group. Are we using the add group component anywhere? Remember that we had issues with component nesting at some point. So we did some rearranging, and I think the add group is not even used anymore. Let me double check. Shift Command F for a full search, global search, and let's look for Livewire add. See, it doesn't show up. nobody is using add group. So I guess we could just remove it, because I was about to edit this file. That would have been a pain. Instead, the functionality for adding groups, we put that in board right here. Group create. See? We also need to change this, because now we can't just create a group. We need to create a group with a user. So this is going to change. So let's first move everything. No, actually, let's deal with the user first, and then we'll deal with the forms. I need to see this working. So add group, not needed. Check for errors. No errors, I hope. Yeah, everything's good. I'm guessing I just broke a bunch of tests, but we'll deal with that later. Sorry. Okay, so let's see what happens if I try to create a group right now. Betcha is going to complain because of a null value in the user ID. Let's say done. Call to member function groups on no. Of course. Sortable query again. You know why that happens? Because we are, again, this get sortable query gets invoked when we are creating a new value, because of the sortable trait that has a code hook for when we are creating new records. So this get sortable query is the first thing that gets called, so that I can get the max value for the sort column. But since we are trying to create a record without a user, that means that this is null, obviously. So how do we deal with this? Let's see. We are creating a group here. At this point in time, there's always going to be a user logged in. We could not see the dashboard if the user is not logged in. So I guess we could use the authenticated user here, like so. So instead, let's do auth. Let's import that class. Can you import that class, please? Illuminate support facades auth. User, give me the logged in user. And on that, I can call groups and use that as a function, not a relation, not as a relationship, but as a function. And on that, I can call create. If I do this, that means that Laravel on its own is going to assign the user ID automatically when creating this record. And once that happens, the get sortable query will have a value for the user relationship. Let me just make sure. I'm sure it is the case, but I want to make sure that the the user model has a groups relationship. Yes, we do. Should fix this too. I don't know if we need to though. Well, no, what we should fix, I don't know if we have already, is scoping the list. I think we did because of the testing. Scoping the list of groups that we show to a specific user. I think that's done. Let's try creating a new group right now. All right, that worked. Awesome. Also, let's make sure We already did this in the test, but I want to make sure that if I logged in as a different user, I won't be able to see any of the tasks. So I think I already have one. Let me check. No, I don't, because I refreshed the database. And I guess we need a link here for the register page at some point. Right now I'm going to do it myself. Go to register. Let's register as myself. See how this one has a link to the login page, but the login page doesn't have a link to the register. We're gonna have that to add that at some point. Register. It works. It's a new user, and I don't have any groups or tasks, which is the intended functionality. Let's add a few things here on deck. In progress. Finished. That'll work. And I add cards as well. Task number 1. Task número 2. And I can sort those tasks around, and I can sort those groups around, and everything is just peachy. All right. All right, let's deal with the forms now. I'm gonna stay logged in here with this new user. I guess I should... No, you know what? Let's wipe the database clean. Start from a clean slate. Or just delete the group for this user. That'll be easier. Since I have it here, let's refresh this. Let's remove for user number 2. Let's remove this 3 records so we can start clean. There. Okay. Let's start from the top. We need a board form, and we don't have one right now, only task. Let's create a new form. PHP artisan Livewire form, group form. All right, cool. Now let's start moving the functionality that we have in board right now into that form. So first things first, I'm gonna need this. Yoink. And then a down paste. Except that this is not going to be rule. This is validate. Change word. Validate. And just to keep it consistent, let's say that on update is false. We remember that means that I don't want Livewire to automatically run the validation. I'm going to do it myself when I'm running the operation. So if I focus out of a field or something gets refreshed in Livewire, this validation is not going to run or execute. It's going to run only when I call validate. This computed thing, I don't need it. And look, we're already, yeah, as I said, this was from the tests. We're scoping everything to the authenticated user. I guess I'm gonna be consistent because down here I'm using auth, the facade, and here I'm using the helper method. So let's just be consistent all around and let's use the facade. And I guess we can just move this store method, yank it from here, and paste it here. Let's see. I call validate, then I say auth user groups create with this name, and then I reset the name. All right, that should work. Okay, let's save this, go back here, and I guess we can just remove everything from here, delete all that, and then say this form store. And we can get rid of this property here. Okay, let's try to create a new form. Sorry, a new group. Oh, wait. We need to modify the Kanban board view. Because now, instead of this text input right here, instead of referring to name, now it has to refer to form.name. Same with the error. I guess there is one error down here. Yep. Instead of error has name, now it's errors has form.name. And same in here. What are you doing? Form.name. Anything else? No. Yeah, I think we're good. Save that, and now let's try it. Add list on deck. Property form not found. What are you talking about? I didn't add the form. Urgh! Come on, man, you're better than this. Of course, I need to add a public, and this will be group form. Form. Okay. Try that again. On deck. Always with the imports. Damn. Where did I miss it now? In the form. My Achilles heel. Always the imports. One more time on deck. What now? Cannot assign null to property name in the group form, which is of type string. Why can't? Oh, because I'm statically typing it? Is that what you're complaining? Name. Yeah, I guess if you have two options here. When you use strict types, or you actually type it as a string, it can only be a string and nothing else. And null is technically something else. So you can either not use it, like so, and PHP will deal with it, or you can use it, but also say it's either string or no. And I kind of like that better, you know? Kind of defines exactly what this property can be. So let's do it like that. Oh, and it did create it. Oh yeah, because it was trying to reset it, set it to null, and he wasn't liking that. So that worked. Let's try creating another one in progress. There you go. So now we have moved the create group functionality into a form. Let's now deal with the editing. Because right now it's here. If I do this, for example, that works, but it's not in the form. So let's move it into the form, shall we? And I think this is in the edit group right here. We have an edit group component that is doing the update right here. And I want that in my form component. What do we need? We already have this in the form. So first of all, let's add the form here. So public group form. Let's remove this because now we're dealing with this in the form. Delete that. I guess I'm going to leave the group here. There's no need to have that in the form. Where am I using this group? This group update. We can either have the group as a property in the form and then assign it or set it somehow, or we can just pass it into the update method in the form itself. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the second one, I think. Okay, we have the form here. Let's leave the group here. Mount. On mount, we're going to need, let's go back to the form because we need a couple of things in the form now. So group form, that means that we not only need the name of the form and the name of the group, but we also need to have a public group not group? Yeah, group. Wait. Hold up a minute. No, yeah. Yeah, we need the group here. Now, this group, however, can be null because if we are creating a record, that thing is going to be null, always. So what we need actually is a new method to set this group. So let's go with public function set group. And we're going to pass in a group. This is only going to be used when dealing with editing records because we need the record to be edited. So here we're going to say this group equals group, and also let's set the group name for the form. So this name equals whatever group we just passed in, name. So going back to the edit group component in the mount, instead of just setting the name here, I'm going to call the form set group and then pass this group. Oh, I have to say this form. Sorry. Now remember that this group public property is actually a parameter that we're passing into the component. Just to give you an example, if we look for Livewire, edit group, here, let's take a look at components. Actually, we're using Livewire. What do we have? Why do I have to? Because this is the one I'm using. So see that whenever we're editing a group, we are passing that group from the current iteration. I think this is, what is this? So this is a Livewire component as well. This Livewire component, it's coming from the board, I guess. Yeah, here we're doing a for each group, and then rendering the Kanban group Livewire component, passing in the group, and then that gets assigned in where is the Kanban group? Kanban group component here. And this Kanban group component has a nested edit group component, and I'm just passing that. We already have a group. It's called different just because of this class here and the model name being named also group. So, but this is a group model, and I just pass that group model down to the nested component. That was a weird tangent. Okay, so back to what we were doing. Edit group. We set the group in the mount, and let's move this update method into the form class. Back to group form, and lights down, paste. We do validate, we do have the group here. We update that with the name. We don't need to dispatch here. That I will leave to the parent component. So remove that. Okay, save, back to the edit group component, and let's remove what we don't need here. Instead, let's just call this form update, and then dispatch the event. Now this here, this needs to change. We no longer, what if we just set it into the form? This form name equals group name. All right, let's see how that looks. If you don't remember, the reason I'm using this reset form here is because sometimes think about when you're editing a field, and I can actually show you. So if I'm here, oh, that's not good. I should keep the value there. Why is it going back to null? I don't know. Oh, of course, I haven't changed the template to reference the form property instead of the components. So this would be in Livewire edit group. This, where's the input? Text input here. Referencing name is, and it has to be form.name. Same with the error at the end of the line here. Okay, there you go. Now, if we are editing this and maybe I want to change it to do, but I change my mind and I hit escape. If I click again, it should stay as on deck. That's the reason why I'm using this reset form here. This runs every time the template of the form goes away. I'm just toggling that input visibility on and off. When I turn it off, therefore editing being false, then I reassign whatever group name we're dealing with back into the form so that it doesn't look weird. When you click again, it should not have the previous value that you were trying to input. It should have the same group name. So let's try to change it now. To do, hit enter. Ooh, I didn't like that. Did you see that? Like that flick? Let me do it again. To do, from to do to on deck. Yeah, it kind of flickers. It works, but it flickers back and forth. I don't know why. So if I go back and then I'm looking at here, I'm looking at the value of the model. And here I'm looking at the value of the form. So if I change it to do, the reason it flickers is because it's hiding the value, it's hiding the input, but the label, which is reflecting the model value, takes like a microsecond to update. I guess one solution would be to, instead of display this as the model's value, let's use the form value. Also, am I resetting the value at some point in the form? Group form. No, I'm not resetting it. So that's fine. I'm only resetting it on store. That's cool. So that means I can go back to the view. And this will be the label that displays when I'm not editing. So how about instead of group name, I use form name. Is it form name? Sorry, form name, or this is either form name or this form name. Let's try it like this. I guess it's form name. So if I change it now to on deck, see, no flicker. Awesome. And if I'm I come in here and say to do, but I changed my mind, hit escape, goes back to the previous value, click again, same value. Let's actually spell deck in the right way, hit enter, no flicker. Perfect. Okay, we're doing good today. I like it when everything works. Except my throat. Me. Okay, so let's... What else are we missing? I guess just the tasks, right? Right now in the task form, so group form has store and update. Good. And the task form only has update. So we want to bring in the store here, and that'll be from add task. This add task component. You remember this is this form right here. Oh, this pisses me off too. I guess I fixed this form here, but I didn't fix this one. Why can't I? Oh, yo! Couldn't focus on it anymore. That was weird. So I need this to extend all the way. I'll leave that to the end. Juan Pablo Sanhuesa, hi, greetings from Chile. Hi, man, thank you for being here. So nice to see you. So nice for you to show up. So we have, I don't know where Weaverton is from, but we have Chile and Nairobi. Completely different places. Obviously. But I mean like in distance-wise. Task. Okay, let's take a look at the task. This is the task form, and then I need to go to add task, and I need to move this store. Oh, I'm using a group here. Yeah, I'm using a group because whenever I create a task, I want the group ID to be automatically assigned to it. So this is going to be a little different because usually when you're creating a task, you're mostly just dealing with the task record in the task form. If you noticed, I have a task record here just so I can set that task and then update it. Okay, let's start moving things up from the task. So we're not going to need this. We are going to need a public task form. We don't have a mount here. We don't need a mount. We don't need a mount because we're creating a record, so we're not dealing with any new. So I guess we could just grab this entire thing, and I'm actually going to delete it. No, I'm not going to do that. So just yoink, and let's put it down up here. Sorry. So what we can do, so that we don't have to move that group into the form, that'll be weird, we can just pass it in here. It means we validate, and we can say, instead of this group, we just say group. That group is a parameter that is being passed into the add task form. because that form lives inside the group component, which is that column here. This form lives within the group component, so I'm passing that into the add task component so that I can automatically assign the relationship into it. So I'm just passing that into the store method, validate, create a task, and then dispatch. This doesn't have to be inside the form. So now in this store method from the add task component, we can get rid of all of this and change it for this form store, and then pass this in group. What happened? Did I not save? Didn't import the class, of course. That's why it's complaining. All right. So in this, we run the store method with that group and then dispatch the task created signal or event. We don't need this validate here anymore. Neither we need in the others, but we'll clean that up later. Save this. Add mount. We don't need it. We don't need a mount in the add task form. We don't need a mount because the only place that we need a mount is when we are editing a record, because the mount record takes in the parameter and then should set that parameter in the form, and that happens in edit task here. But I thought it would. Well, this one's kind of different because it's a dialogue. So every time I'm editing a task, then this set task will go into the form and set that task into the form. But this usually should be called in a mount because you have a task to deal with. But since we are storing a record, we don't have a model to deal with, so we just have to call the store method without calling anything in the mount. Make sense? And inside the form, we already have the value for the task name, because that task name in the task form, well, we haven't done it yet, but that is already wired to the input in the view. So let's actually do that right now. This will be in add task, in the add task view. So let's open that. Add task Livewire, and let's look for the text input here. Wire model. I'm calling it name, but it is description. So this instead is form.description. We need it for the error as well here. This is for the class form description, and also for the error message form description. So whenever we edit something in this text input, because it's wired into the form description property, when we run the store method, we already have the value there in the property of the form, because this input and that property are welded together. Let's give this a try, shall we? Task numero uno. task number 2. Perfect. We can add tasks, I can exit, can move them around, and everything work as it should. And if I click on one, I can still, I hate this. I need this all the way, please. If I change the value, change my mind, hit escape, go back, and if I click it again, value goes back to what it was. And if I change it, save that, everything is reflecting perfectly, nothing is broken, everything is fine. So that means that we have, let me close a few things here. Boop, boop, bop. Oh, what happened here? Did I change something? No, I didn't mean to change anything here. I'm gonna discard the changes. That one, close, 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 close. And now we have task form, group form, and that's all we need. Add task, edit group, edit task. All of those are using forms. What else? I guess all we need to do now is just fix those pesky little inputs. Let's start with this one. What did I do on this one that fixed it? I don't remember. Let's compare. And why can't I click on this one anymore? Even if I cancel. That's so strange. Oh, now you do work? How? Right click did the work. Cancel that. Hit here. Add card. Right click. I have to click I have to use the right click instead of left click. Same thing here. That's so interesting. So I'm using the left mouse. Clicking into this one doesn't work, but if I use the right mouse click, now it does. I'll look into it. Nothing too important. It is annoying, but not too important. Actually, it is very annoying. Okay. Let's just extend this to the full length. Let me compare it to the add task form. So this one is flex call. I think that's the difference. If I go to add group, yeah, that's the problem. This is just P2 and I need this text input and the buttons to be in a flex class. Let's see. So just wrap the text input and the message in div with a flex call gap 2. Let's do that. I'm gonna copy this. I didn't mean to do that. Yoink. And then let's go up here, paste. Take this. And fix indentation. And then add the closing div. Come on, there you go. All right, like so. Save. Let's take a look. No? Really? Why not? Vid is running. Let me take a look. Inspect. Why did you not reflect? Why? See, there is a form and it goes straight to the input. Where is my div? I just added a div here. Oh dear God. Am I doing it in the wrong place? Hello, Junior. Hi. How you doing? Thank you for being here. It's the only option is that we removed this thing, didn't we? We removed the component but not the view. That's it. This is in the board component now. Livewire board. There is the add list. Let's remove that thing. Add group. Bye. All right, let's do the same thing here. Form text input. We're going to add a. Let me go back and copy that again. From add task. Nope, not the component. The view. Yoink. Paste. Hate when you're not indenting the right way. In fact, let me do it this way. Close it here. And then just take all of this and move it up. What input working? No, the wire key, it's only needed when you are iterating on something. Like if that input were in a Livewire component, in a view for a Livewire component, and I was doing an iteration, a for each, for example, and I was rendering many inputs inside that Livewire component, then yes, wire key is needed. But the input is just one single element and it doesn't need a wire key. Wire key is for iterations. When you're running a for each, when you're rendering things in a loop in a Livewire component, you do need a wire key. Quick questions. When you have multi-guard set up in Laravel Jetstream, already feeling the shivers. How does the email verification work? Mine currently doesn't work with the multi-guards, and I'm gonna try to solve it. You know what? I'm gonna be real with you. The short answer is I don't know. I don't work with Jetstream. Jetstream is Vue.js, right? Well, at least you have the option to use Vue.js. And I've never used multi-guards, to be honest with you. So I would have to look into it, but you probably find it way faster than me. I hope you find the solution soon though. Yeah, sorry I can't be of much help on that front. Alright, now that we have this, let's save it and make sure that it works. At least click on it. Perfect. Yeah, I can imagine. Sounds complicated. But you can do it. I believe in you. Okay, this one's fixed. Now we need to fix this one here. I guess that's for Junior, isn't it, Abdul? Guard user. You can pass the guard into the auth method. Email verification. Yeah, I'll have to look into the documentation, to be honest. All right, so this probably just needs another flex input here, flex div. Where is that, by the way? Let's look for edit task here. Yeah, let's do the same thing. Let's copy that div. Copy that, paste it here, close it right away, fix the indentation, empty line, grab these lines, move it up, delete the extra line, save, and there it is. Much better. All right. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all for today. We moved many things along, and next week I think we can move into projects, because what I want is I'm going to redesign this a bit, because I don't want tags anymore. I actually want projects here, or maybe both. Tags, it's still a bit ways in the future, but projects is next week. So I want to have projects in this side, and when I click on one of those projects, then it should reflect here. So I can have all projects instead of all tasks, and then this will be the title of the project that I'm working on and it will scope the tasks and groups into that project. So right now we scoped everything for a user. We are going to further scope that down for different projects. That's going to be fun. All right, thank you everyone for showing up today. It was lovely to see you all. And yeah, if you found any of this helpful, don't forget to give a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, by the way, before I go, if you guys want to keep chatting about it, the problem, you can always jump into the Discord server and you can pose a question there, or just in a general chat, and you'll have more time to discuss. And maybe I can jump in. Okay, bye.